Straight ahead on OC News, it's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the 91 freeway eastbound. This after a brush fire closes the 91 at the Orange County-Riverside County border.
College students love free food. And that was the story on the campus of Cal State Fullerton.
And there's a new twist in the Ray Rice story. We'll have the very latest in sports.
Also, weather and all the entertainment news. OC News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to OC News. I'm Colin Yee.
And I'm Sofia Guerrero. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast students of Cal State Fullerton.
If you are heading home at this hour on the eastbound 91 freeway, get ready for long delays. A brush fire that broke out today near Riverside County has forced several lanes to close. Fire was reported at 1 p.m. after drivers noticed flames on the hillside south of Green River Road. Our own Dominica Dow has more from the scene.
I'm standing in Yorba Linda, just a few miles away from Gibson Road, where a brush fire broke out at 1 p.m. The fire spread across 39 acres and forced the closure of all eastbound lanes on the 91 freeway in Corona. 100 firefighters were called to contain the fire. No homes were immediately threatened and no evacuations have been made. More on the story as information develops. Reporting for OC News, I'm Dominica Dow.
While fire season was typically thought to just be during fall, Southern California is now subject to year-round danger. To maintain fire safety, Southern California citizens should always maintain 100 feet of defensible space, trim branches 6 feet from the ground, and never use trimming and mowing equipment on hot and windy days. Also, have an evacuation plan for you and your family with a fire safety kit nearby. As Southern California continues to fight through one of the most severe droughts on record, 2014 is supposed to be Southland's most dangerous fire year to date. On the 13th anniversary of fallen heroes of 9/11 attacks will be awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. The men and women who died in Pennsylvania, New York, and the Pentagon will be memorized throughout the ceremony.
Congrats Cal State Fullerton for its 14th consecutive year being ranked #1 atop public regional university in the West for students who graduate with the least amount of debt. U.S. News & World Report has ranked Cal State Fullerton #9 in its annual rankings, but it soars to #1 among regional universities in the West with students with the least amount of debt.
Cal State Fullerton hosted their first Titan Taco Tuesday by giving out free tacos to students on campus. Here's Steve Granado with the story.
College students and free food. Cal State Fullerton's Associated Students and Titan Task Force held Taco Tuesday this past Tuesday by handing out a free taco to each student. They will continue to host this event at least once a month this academic year.
Basically, we come out, we try to do like a Tuesday every month, sometimes 2 Tuesdays every month, come out and give free stuff to students, free tacos in this instance. The organization I'm with, Titan Task Force, is basically here to enrich student life and enrich campus life.
All students need to do in order to receive a free Mexican entree is wear some sort of Cal State Fullerton gear, and of course, patiently wait in line. Funds for events like these come from student tuition. Titan Taco Tuesday, just one of the many events put on here at Cal State Fullerton by ASI and Titan Task Force. For everything else ASI, you can check out asi.fullerton.edu. For OC News, I'm Steve Granado.
For many of us, allergies can ruin an entire day and have been anchored next to a tissue box. Here's Brian Hermosillo with today's health segment.
Just because the blooming season is over, that doesn't mean that allergies are no longer with us. So if you're wondering why you may be sneezing more, a fall allergy might be triggering your problem. Here's Holly Furfur with what to look out for and how to get relief.
Yep, you've made it through the summer with no congestion. But now we're moving into the fall season, and although the foliage of summer may be fading, new allergies are lurking out there. What are they? Ragweed usually starts releasing its pollen in late August, but that pollen can linger into the late fall. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 3/4 of people who are allergic to spring plants are allergic to ragweed. And let's not forget mold. Mold spores love wet areas, which means piles of wet leaves can be its breeding ground. Dust is also a major allergy trigger. Turn on our heater and you stir them up. Those tiny bugs are in almost every home. If you're suffering from serious runny nose, watery eyes, itching, and coughing, see your doctor. A good allergist should be able to rid you of some of your symptoms. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer.
Very few of us can resist reaching for that cup of coffee first thing in the morning. However, if you overdo it, you'll be brewing up some health problems. A lot of people turn to caffeine to give them a jolt, but like everything else, too much of a good thing is not always good for you. Here's Carl Azus on consuming too much caffeine.
Caffeine is everywhere, in coffee, iced tea, chocolate, sodas, even in some medications. It's a stimulant that can make you feel more alert and give you that boost of energy.
It increases blood flow to the muscles, opens up your lungs. It gives increased performance.
But when you consume too much of it, caffeine can cause major health problems. On average, most people can handle about 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. That's about what's in 3 to 4 6-ounce cups of coffee. What's concerning these days is more and more products contain larger amounts of caffeine. Energy drinks, supplements, even powdered caffeine contains way more of the substance than any cup of coffee. For example, the FDA warns 1 teaspoon of powdered caffeine is equivalent to 25 cups of coffee.
When they take what they think is a dose, it's 10, 15, 20 times what they're expecting.
Consuming more than 1,000 milligrams of caffeine could lead to some serious side effects like an irregular heartbeat, nausea, tremors, insomnia, and in some rare situations, death. So beware of what you're drinking. Best way to avoid caffeine overdose is to check the ingredients just to see how much caffeine you're taking in. For today's Health Minute, I'm Carl Azus.
On a more exciting note, the Make-A-Wish Foundation made a wish come true for one very lucky girl that she will never forget. A 6-year-old girl from Georgia named Addison is battling lymphoid leukemia, and it has always been a wish of hers to visit Hawaii, where she believes is the only place where unicorns exist.
What a beautiful princess!
Do you want to make a little twirl for them?
The look on her face, the wonder in her eyes, just give it away. This pretty little princess is about to witness something very special.
Very pretty, Addison.
Princess Addison is a 6-year-old from Georgia, visiting Hawaii for the very first time. With cameras rolling and her family in tow, she's led into the forest in search of something that up until today existed only in her imagination.
What did you wish for?
To see that.
What is that?
It's a pink unicorn.
On this day, there was only joy, but that hasn't always been the case for Addison and her family. The little princess is battling lymphoid leukemia. It was her wish to visit Hawaii, where she believes unicorns exist in our rainforests.
Hello, unicorn.
Hello.
Having seen her fight and struggle for the last 2.5 years, this is just a breath of fresh air to see her smile and be in a magical world for a moment.
Then I got to sit on the unicorn at the end, and it was happily ever after.
Who says fairy tales don't come true? For Addison, she was able to witness what many people have never been able to see. Unicorns. If she gets to see unicorns, I want to see Transformers or some crazy robots from Pacific Rim. But that about wraps it up for my health segment. So back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Brian. It's been real hot here in Southern California, and it looks like it's going to get even hotter. Here's our very own Shayna with the weather.
Hello, it is Wednesday, and it is very hot today in Orange County. Even reached 90 degrees, currently 89, but it is going to cool down later to 66 and partly cloudy. Wind speed is at 2 miles an hour and humidity is 31%. Sunrise was at 6:31 a.m. this morning and the sunset tonight is at 7:05 p.m. Now let's see what's going on with the 5-day forecast. Temperatures will be rising. Today we had 90 degrees with a low of 66. Thursday and Friday at 91 and lows around 68. It's going to get real hot throughout the rest of the weekend with Saturday at a high of 98 degrees and low of 71, and Sunday is going to get all the way up to 99 degrees with a low of 73. Let's take a look at national weather. New York was sunny today with highs of 73 and lows of 68, going down to Florida's high at 82 degrees, but we'll be expecting some thunderstorms tonight at 76 degrees. Oklahoma City will have temperatures at 86, and Arizona will be getting some sun today to hopefully help dry up those floods. Make sure to crank up your air conditioning this weekend if you're in California and drink a lot of water because it is going to be a hot weekend for us in Orange County.
Thank you, Shayna. Coming up on OC News, we have the very latest on our Titan Athletics. And if you're ready for the latest iPhone release, it's bigger and better. All this and more after the break.
Titan TV is a student-operated facility maintained by students.
It's on the Cal State Fullerton campus, and it's a great opportunity for Cal State Fullerton students to get hands-on experience directly in a studio environment.
Working with Titan TV puts me in this professional environment. Everyone here is really fun to work with, and everyone just gets along so well. I'm having a great time.
Titan Radio is Cal State Fullerton's own radio station located in the basement of Pollock Library. Students can stop by and pick up an application during operating hours. Anyone who has a computer and internet can listen to us www.titanradio.org. A lot of people who want to pursue TV and film usually start out in radio, so it's always a great opportunity.
Let's head over to the World News Desk. Here's Ruby Gonzalez.
As the president gets ready to announce his strategy for confronting ISIS militants, there are no shortage of opinions about what he should do. This as the terrorist group's influence continues to grow in Syria and Iraq. Polo Sandoval has a story from Washington.
President Obama preparing to lay out his strategy for handling ISIS in a primetime address to the nation. The terrorist group has taken over large portions of Iraq and Syria. In the Sunni militants' efforts to create a caliphate or Islamic State, it's left a trail of brutality, slaughtering men, women, and children, among them 2 American journalists.
We all know, I think we come to this with great confidence, that ultimately our global coalition will succeed in eliminating the threat from Iraq, from the region, and from the world.
At the White House, the challenge will be determining how the U.S. gets involved. On Tuesday, the president met with congressional leaders from both parties in the Oval Office, hoping to build bipartisan support.
And the president wants to make sure that he's clear with the American public, with all of you who cover this administration so closely, and with members of Congress about what our strategy is going to be moving forward. The president believes that congressional consultation is really important.
While the U.S. continues launching more than 150 airstrikes on ISIS strongholds, a recent CNN poll shows a large majority, 76%, are in favor of more airstrikes. Despite a call from some in Congress, a vote on military action against ISIS is not likely anytime soon. Still, Republicans say they know what they want to hear tonight.
Is a plan, a military plan, a political plan, and a diplomatic plan of how to actually crush ISIS, not merely contain it.
In Washington, I'm Polo Sandoval.
It's believed ISIS has recruited some Westerners to its cause. Now we're learning it's also believed the militant group has attracted some female volunteers, and the fear is that the number of women involved in ISIS may be growing. More on that from CNN's Atika Schubert.
Guns and the Quran one day, swapping recipes and shopping tips the next. This is the online world of the women of ISIS. From Aqsa Mahmoud, once a shy Glasgow schoolgirl, now married to an ISIS fighter in Syria. A blog believed to be written by her reads as a how-to manual for any female ISIS recruit. Top tips: get your shots, pack sturdy boots, a warm coat, and plenty of full-body veils. To a British woman who calls herself Khattab, posing with an AK-47, calling for the British Prime Minister's head on a spike. According to the Terrorism Research and Analysis Consortium, as many as 15% of ISIS foreign recruits are women, possibly up to 200 from at least 14 different countries. It's not the first time for women in a jihadist conflict, but it is the first time they have been recruited in such large numbers. But a mujahida, as they call themselves, is not expected to fight. She supports her husband at home, cooking, cleaning, and raising children. But the appeal of ISIS is the same for husband and wife, say those who track ISIS fighters online.
They have the same goals and the same ambitions once they get there. Now, granted, their roles may be much more limited to the 1950s housewife type of thing.
But in February, ISIS formed Al-Qansa, an all-women battalion with about 60 members, all of them believed to be under the age of 25. They now have their own media channel with propaganda videos like this. The battalion has two roles, manning checkpoints and inspecting all women that pass, but also enforcing ISIS' strict morality code for women in the self-declared caliphate. There are reports they flog women who are not fully veiled in the niqab. But many of the women, especially foreign recruits, have expressed clear ambitions to be on the front line.
This is obviously rapidly changing as we speak. They're being trained in weaponry. They're being trained how to clean the weapon, how to fire the weapon. And granted, these are just basic boot camp skills. They have the means to defend themselves.
Whether it's cleaning an AK-47 or whipping up a chocolatey treat for their jihadi husbands, the goal is the same for these women, to serve the extremist ideals of ISIS. Atika Schubert, CNN, London.
The Tokyo metropolitan government will send 100,000 sets of protective gear to Ebola-hit countries in West Africa. The region is facing a shortage of medical workers and equipment. Officials say they will ship the first batch of 20,000 sets next week to Sierra Leone and Liberia, where the disease is spreading. They say the shipment will include clothing, gloves, and goggles for medical workers. Officials say the Tokyo government had stockpiled the items to prepare for the possible outbreak of a new type of influenza. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon made an emergency appeal last week for medical workers and supplies, as well as $600 million in aid. The World Health Organization said on Tuesday that 2,296 people have died from confirmed or suspected Ebola infections. That's all I have today for your World News Update. Thank you. I'm Ruby Gonzalez.
Tonight's sports segment highlights Cal State Fullerton men's soccer and women's volleyball, and a recap of the NFL following its first week of action. Here's Tucker Tashin.
Good afternoon and welcome to tonight's sports segment. I'm your host, Tucker Tashin. The Cal State Fullerton men's soccer team is winless so far this season. After losing their first match in overtime, they tied in double OT against the University of San Diego on Monday, September 1st. We have a highlight of Friday night's matchup against San Francisco State, and here's Titan Sports Recap's Janice Garcia with the highlight.
In his first game home as the Titan head coach, George Kuntz and the Titan men took on the San Francisco Dons. In the 16th minute, there was a huge collision between Julian Akai and one of the Dons. Actually, we can hear the sound all the way up from the press box. It's pretty loud. In the 17th minute, the Dons were the more physical team when it came down to it, and this was the second yellow card given to San Francisco in the first half, the first 17 minutes of the game. And it was given to goalkeeper Chase Hauser. And in result of the foul, Julian Okai was given a free kick 2 yards outside the box, and makes it look easy to get it past Hauser to get his first goal of the season, and the Titans now take the lead at 1-0 in the 17th minute. The Dons answered back in the 20th minute with Miguel Aguilar getting help from David Romney with a free kick and Davy Ramos near the back post to tie the game at 1 apiece. In the 23rd minute, Ramos has a chance to change the momentum of the game with a penalty kick, but Jeff Salt with an amazing save to keep the Titans alive for the second half. Amazing save, one of his 2 saves of the game. Now the second half, 71st minute, things get a little bit more interesting. The referee believed that there was an unnecessary physical contact on the Titans side, and a foul is called on Colin Okery. He got a yellow card in the first half and was now given a red card to result in a penalty kick for San Francisco. Miguel Aguilar versus Jeff Salt for the penalty kick and gets it to the right side of the post. Dons now win 2-1 against the Titans. And I got the chance to speak with Coach George Kuntz for a post-game interview.
thought we prepared well. I mean, if you look at it, even playing, I don't know how many minutes we played a man down. At 20 minutes, 19 minutes a man down, we still outshot this team 2-1. You know, it shows that we were all over this team. It's just a matter of finishing our chances. Even with the call, even with the PKs, we outshot them 2-1, playing a man down for 20 minutes, and we've done that the entire season.
Men's soccer has also tied once again in another double overtime thriller to Northwestern University on Sunday the 7th. Women's volleyball news has been they've been playing very well with an overall record of 4-3 while going 2-2 in their latest tournament at the SDSU USD 2014 Classic. The girls have been led by freshman phenom Nikki Withers, who has already earned 2 Big West Freshman of the Week honors. NFL news: with the first week of the NFL season in the books, the biggest story has been the off-the-field issue of Ray Rice and the video of the assault of his then-fiancée and now current wife, Janae Rice. The NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is under tight scrutiny because of his handling of the situation. An Associated Press report that was released today mentioned that a law enforcement official sent the video of Rice punching his wife in the elevator to an NFL executive back in April, although the league insists that they didn't see the video until this week. As you can tell from the timeline, the incident occurred back in February, leading up to a 2-game suspension from the league's office. Following that, the commissioner has changed the sanctions regarding domestic violence to an 8-game suspension. But on Monday, the video footage from inside the elevator was released by TMZ Sports, and the Ravens have terminated Rice's contract as a result. The league has also suspended Rice indefinitely. That's all we have for this week in sports. Back to you guys with the news.
Thank you, Tucker. Coming up on OC News, we have the very latest entertainment news, including a famous female songwriter who came to campus last week.
Hi, how are you doing today?
What looks good?
Our special today is shrimp scampi. It's been sitting around for about a week.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
From local to Hollywood entertainment news and gossip, here's Christina Razdan with the latest.
Thanks, guys. Lots of things have been happening in our community recently, but did you get the chance to see 22-year-old singer-songwriter Lily Kershaw this weekend? Kershaw sang her heart out and performed some of her original songs on Cal State Fullerton's campus. Kimberly Flores has the scoop.
Singer-songwriter Lily Kershaw performed in the Cal State Fullerton housing complex early Sunday evening. The Los Angeles native interacted with fans throughout her set and was pleasantly surprised to find some students in the audience familiar with her work. Lily Kershaw's music has provided the backdrop for the popular CBS drama Criminal Minds and MTV's new family drama Finding Carter.
I'm actually leaving on tour on Wednesday, so like my show today was sort of like throwing up, you know, new songs and seeing how people responded to them. I started this tour on Wednesday. That's going to be 2 months long. It's like 4 weeks in the United States and then 4 weeks in Canada. So it's going to be really fun. I'm going to be in French Canada, so like everyone's going to speak French.
After the concert, Lily Kershaw met up with fans, gave away CDs, and took photographs with whoever asked. She will be kicking off her On the Sun tour in Los Angeles on Thursday, September 11th. Her debut album, Midnight in the Garden, is available now on iTunes. For OC News, I'm Kimberly Flores.
That seemed like such a cool event. I will definitely be downloading one of her songs when I get home and be keeping an eye out for upcoming concerts on campus. If the first one wasn't so freaking cute, why not just have another one? The Royals, Kate and William, are expecting another child. Whether it's going to be a prince or princess, we don't know yet. There have been rumors floating around on Twitter as to when the baby will be due and the possible gender. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We're so excited for you guys. Congratulations to Kate and William. Last week we lost one of the funniest, crudest women the world has ever seen. Joan Rivers, age 81, was undergoing endoscopy surgery when she suffered from cardiac arrest. 1 week later, Rivers passed in the hospital, being in an induced coma. This past Sunday, celebrities and family members met for Rivers' funeral and couldn't help but include laughter, as Rivers would have wanted it. Over the past couple of weeks, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which is a movement bringing awareness for Lou Gehrig's disease, has been blowing up social media left and right. It wasn't until recently when public figure Drew Carey watched a challenge that was far from throwing a bucket of ice over one's head. A 15-year-old autistic boy was challenged to participate, and instead of getting splashed with a bucket of water, the Ohio student had a bucket of feces, urine, and spit poured over his head by one of his peers. Saturday, Drew Carey and other celebrities had offered $10,000 to the Bay Village Police Department in hopes to find these kids. And just yesterday, police officials found the suspects that had dumped the mixture. This act is still under investigation. A local craft brewery is getting international attention from a simple idea: make a pack of beer bigger. KXAN's Kevin Schwaller shows us their big idea is getting a Texas-sized reaction.
Beyond these doors, a find so rare few have seen one.
You know, it's such an Austin thing.
The Austin Beer Works 99 pack. 99 beers in one box, and you'll find 99 stories from the beer lovers seeking it.
Last night I tried to form like a plan.
I went to about 6 different stores, but they were all first come, first served.
Every single place, I think. Who else worked? They did, she did.
I would consider it a joke, and it's one that just took off on its own, and now we have to kind of treat it seriously.
Co-founder of Austin Beer Works, Michael Graham, says the idea came from an attempt to get more beer customers to drink its Peacemaker beer.
It comes in at more than 7 feet, and that doesn't begin to measure the impact this box is having.
It's getting attention nationally, CNN, Esquire, and internationally with headlines in the UK. And for a place that usually deals in kegs and six-packs, it's a lot of work.
Man, I think we're done with crazy ideas for a while. Maybe the 2-pack sounds great.
So while they last, the packs at Fresh Plus are going by lottery.
Lauren Means?
So how do you get this behemoth of a craft brew back home?
That's a good question. I drive a Mini Cooper.
In this case, 2 people and a change of car. In Austin, Kevin Schwaller, KXAN News.
I wonder if those packs of beer will make their way out to California. The whole pack is only $99, $1 a beer? No wonder everyone wants it. Well, that's all for the local and Hollywood entertainment news and gossip we have for today. I'm Christina Razban. Back to you guys.
Well, that's going to do it all for us here at OC News. I'm Colin Yee.
And I'm Sofia Guerrero. We'll see you next time on the next edition of OC News. Have a great evening.